The Peckham Destroyer. There we are. You should always upsell your ships, guys. Always. Extra power makes you faster. Maybe, but Corvette's already so quick, I don't think it's going to matter so much. So for Corvette's the Mini-Mord and Titan, then a Mega-Board. I think Mega-Mord was actually a battleship. I think the Maxi-Mord was the Titan. I think. Did you do the job? Yes, you are doing it. Yes, you are. Good. Continue. Alright, so you... Actually, let's go ahead and survey these systems. And we have loads of minerals. I've been kind of falling behind here. You need to do some more constructifying. Just build all of them. I thought I just gave you orders. Did I give them to you by accident? I totally gave them to you by accident. Damn it. Ah, sorry. You're near here. You just go ahead. I still kind of want to just map out systems. So I know that I need to expand to Grekel. It's going to be a very important system for me. So how much is a starbase? Can you just tell me the price? Fine, I'm lacking some influence, but I also just want to know the price. I'm just going to move you to like here. Let's have a look around. I want to find where the choke points are.
Research complete.
Though the survivors offered stiff resistance, our boarding party was able to secure several prisoners from the disabled cultist starship. From what we've learned, that this conspiracy goes far deeper than we initially suspected. The agents of the Penitent Ones include several flag officers and high-ranking officials from within our government. Mass arrests are being made in East London, and all assets belonging to this cult have been seized. However, several of the starships they built in secret remain unaccounted for, and the upper echelons of the cult's leadership have vanished. And we had nothing to do with it, boss. Nothing. We have picked up some faint ion trails leading to several outlying systems. We must pursue these terrorists. By all means. Yeah, I know there are other ways of doing it. It would just be nice if it was on that screen. So say, cost, lacking this. Also, you chaps need to go and upgrade. Go! And we could probably do with building another one or two. Shipyard is busy right now, but then we could build some more Peckham class destroyers.
Complete.
Let's do that. And you finished your jobs. Oh, now I'm short on alloys. God damn it. Alright, I am gonna see how much this damn thing costs. 100 alloys and some influence. Alright, you guys have been upgraded. I don't remember how good at fighting you were before, but you seem pretty good now. Ah, so another statistic you will notice here, which is piracy suppression. What does that mean? Well, as you are earning trade value from the starbases, more about that when we can actually build starbases to pull in trade value, they generate pirates. Those pirates, rather than just spawning every now and then destroying stuff, which they can still do, will rather just siphon money off of you. So pirates basically cost you money for not dealing with them. You can send ships on what is effectively a protect trade mission, which I think is probably this thing. Yep. Then they will apply their piracy suppression to bring down the amount of money that the pirates are siphoning, meaning that more money makes it back to your capital. Starbase upgrades can also provide piracy suppression. For example, the defensive structures, so the turrets and the missile turrets, also provides pirate suppression. So that is another reason that you want to fortify or rather upgrade the defensive capacities of your interior systems, because they will also provide the piracy suppression. like fighting pirates in EU4. It's more like a trade protection. I'm really hoping that they add privateering in the future. They haven't yet, but this system would definitely support that.
Boom. We built something.
Boom! We built something. Heck yeah. Well, alright then. You may as well move there in preparation for actually being able to take the planet. Ooh, 21 arid world. So, let's just double check the habitability of these places. 20%, 20%. Okay, it is the same for all planets. I seriously thought it scaled depending on how good the planet was. Compared to your own. Encounter in Brockan. We have encountered some form of alien vessels in the Brockham system. These strange objects have been flagged as beta aliens until we can learn more about them. We should proceed with caution. Enigmatic spacefarers. The Viking Holdings Inc. has finally encountered fellow wanderers amongst the stars. Despite their intentions being unknown and potentially even hostile, the atmosphere in East London following the report from our contact fleet can be best described as rapturous. Intriguing. And we have our first tradition. So the traditions, I believe, have changed. So we'll need to do a bit of checking what they do exactly. Starbase influence cost reduced by 10%, so expansion is usually a pretty strong choice. Admin cap increased by 20. Starbase upkeep reduced by 20. New colonies start with an additional pop, and pop growth increased by 10%. So expansion generally looking pretty good. Colony development speed increased by 25%, so that's how fast a colony is established once you've landed the colony ship. And adopting all expansion traditions will allow non-habitat planets to build one additional district. In addition, will unlock one ascension perk. Okay, cool. Domination. Care block cost reduced by 33%. And if we get all of them, then our influence goes up by 1. Colonial Viceroys. Governor level cap increased by 2. That's already good. Capital buildings and housing buildings provide +1 housing each. So domination seems to be more about building very tall. Public trust officers. Enforcers reduce crime by an additional 20%. Resource output from workers and slaves increased by 5%. So this is not to do with vassals anymore. Domination is definitely to do with building tall and having good rulers. So it's like authoritarianism rather than vassal suppression. Administrative operations, building upkeep and district upkeep reduced by 10. Prosperity was always a good choice. Mining station output increased by... Mining stationing? Really? Wow. That didn't always used to be that, did it? Pretty sure it didn't. And the merchant jobs... Oh, sorry. Adopting all prosperity traditions will give our planets 1 merchant job per 50 pops. Is that global pops or local pops? Because if that's global, that's going to be a huge number, potentially. If it's local, less so. It's going to be like 1 or 2 per planet. Building upkeep and district reduction. Buildings and districts have the build cost reduced by 10%, build speed increased by 25%. Specialist output increased by 5%. So the specialists are the alloy producers, the consumer goods producers, and the scientists. So that is basically tech goes up by 5%. City districts provide 1 additional clerk. City districts, so we're going to have quite a few of those. And the clerks are the trade value. So prosperity is definitely like the trade choice. This is trade and economics. This is expansion and exploration. This is innovative. Harmony. Pop food consumption reduced by 10%. And your stability will increase on all planets by 5%. That's pretty good. Leader lifespan increased by 20 years. That's going to be useful for us because our lifespan is going to be concerning. Time it takes for unemployed pops to demote to a lower stratum is reduced by 50%. That's a good thing. Oh, I guess if you have a specialist, then they cannot suddenly start working in a worker's role. They need to demote, which I guess takes time. The greater good. For the greater good. The greater good. Hey, Bussy! How are you doing? Governing ethics attraction increased by 25%. That's strong, especially if you're playing as the spiritualists. You know, the mega church. Pop amenities usage reduced by 10%. Okay, good. That means that you need to dedicate less to consumer goods. While in defensive war with another empire, ship build speed increased by 33%, ship fire rate increased by 15%, that's not changed. Supremacy! Starbase capacity increased by 2, and army damage increase. Okay. And you can now get war doctrine policies. Ship build cost reduced by 10%, ship build speed increased by 25, so you can build up very quickly. Ship upkeep reduced by 10, naval capacity increased by 20. Fleet command limit increased by 20, and admiral level cap increased by 2. Oh, that was just governor, okay, cool. Overwhelming force, ship fire rate increased by 10, orbital bombardment damage increased by 20. So supremacy is really good if you're going to be attacking planets, which I don't think was covered before. Starbase damage increased by 20%, starbase upgrade cost reduced by 33. I like supremacy. In fact, all of these seem really strong, like every single one of them except probably harmony. I'm like, ooh, that's nice. Ooh, that's nice. Ooh, that's nice. Diplomacy, pop housing usage reduced by 10. This is not just to do with federations anymore. Adopting all adaptability traditions will unlock the planetary prospecting decision that allows us to prospect for an additional resource deposit once on our planets. So that's potentially an additional district which will give you more worker jobs. That could be really quite potent, especially if it's per planet. Monthly food output increased by 10%, so that's increasing the amount of food, while one of these was reducing the amount of food actually required. Orbital bombardment damage reduced by 25, and army defense damage increased by 25. So diplomacy is the defensive ability, while supremacy is the offensive. Empire trade value increased by 10%. That would go really nicely with prosperity. Market fee reduced by 10%. So if you're conducting trade on the global markets, the base cost is 30%. This will reduce it to 20. I'm guessing that's additive rather than multiplicative. Base trade protection for trade routes increased by 5. So that's trade suppression. So all of your trade routes will have at least 5 suppression. Plus starbase suppression, plus patrol suppression. So diplomacy and prosperity seems like a really strong combination. And then discovery. Anomaly research speed increased by 20%. Adopting all discovery traditions increases research by 10%. Survey speed increased by 35, and science ship disengaged by 50. So they've changed that from survey discovery chance, which is probably a good thing because it means you don't have to get this first anymore. Research alternatives increased by 1. Scientist level cap increased by 2. Ooh. Ooh. I actually really like that change. That's a good change. Because it used to annoy me. Like, I really liked Discovery, but you had to take it first for it to be that strong. Research station output increased by 10. Okay. Leader experience gained 25%. Leader level cap increased by 1. That's all leaders. So your scientists could potentially be 3 levels higher with that. So a base of 8. And if you have the civics base of 10. Level 10 science? Hell yeah. Pops working with research have their upkeep reduced by 20. So your scientists' upkeep is reduced by 20%. Interesting. And then the Ascension perks. You know what? You're going to have to wait to see what the Ascension perks does. Hey, it's an alien. Haven't seen you for a while. How you doing? So, which one do I want to go with? I think probably expansion? Maybe not. See, I am limited in the number of planets I can maintain because I'm a corporation. So expansion's not necessarily the best choice for us. Supremacy might be because it allows us to maintain more star bases. We did not take the trade post. Supremacy plus trade post would mean you have a lot of controlled territory. Although, star bases aren't that important either because we build branches in enemy territory. Maybe diplomacy to make ourselves feel less vulnerable? And this also increases the trade value and the market fee reduction and the base trade value. This is actually a legitimately difficult decision now. I like this. This is really good. See, I'm not that concerned about level caps because we have reduced life expectancy, so we're not going to be hitting those caps. So those are kind of irrelevant. Yeah, all going well. Got to meet with some other YouTubers last night, which was really good. Got to go to Bath, which is just a really nice city. And now I am playing a new Stellaris update, which is actually looking really good because it adds loads of economy and trade stuff. And I'm also playing as a criminal organisation, so I can do my awesome East London gangsters. Please double check to boldly go. Ship survey speed increased by 35%, ship disengage chance 50%. They should have mutually exclusive trees, so you have to specialise. I don't know that I agree with that. I quite like that they're not. In the same way that like EU4 you can go quantity and quality, even though they should technically be mutually exclusive, and in the past they were. I feel like they should rename diplomacy. Yeah, a couple of these could do with renaming. Like diplomacy probably could, domination probably could, to like authoritarianism. The other ones are pretty good. Diplomacy should be like defensiveness. Or stubbornness, or tenacity. I think a better name for this would be tenacity. I would like more trees with a limit on how many you can pick, but I'm happily with mutual exclusive. More trees would be nice. Just make them more and more expensive, so if you do want to invest really heavily on tradition, then it pays off a bit better. Or in Unity. Damn it, which one am I going to choose? You had to make this a hard choice, didn't you, Paradox? I do like developing colonies, but I am... Okay, so part of the problem here is how many colonies can I actually maintain? Empire sizes measure the territorial expanse of your empire in the form of controlled systems, colonies, and districts. High emphasizes a strain on your empire's administrative capacity. Systems are +2, colonies are +2. I currently have... Oh, it doesn't actually say how much you have left. That's surely a more useful number than how much you currently have. Because my cap is 50. I'm currently 13, which leaves me with 27 left over. I'd much rather know 27. I just want to double check one thing. Not that. Not that. That. Empire size penalty plus 50%. So does that just mean that all of these count for plus 50%? So I just have less of everything? I wasn't expecting it to reduce the number of districts I have, just the number of colonies and systems. Expansion can still be useful as it increases admin cap. Yeah, this is true, and especially now that I kind of know how limited we are, we might need that. Starbase influence costs reduced, that's going to be good for just expansion. Admin cap increased by 20, but that's basically just an increase of 10. It just feels less impactful. I feel like we need to do stuff that makes us go tall, but I'm penalised for the number of districts I have, which means that going tall is really difficult. Ah, this is far more of a problem than I expected it to be. So I think I need to make my districts better, so we're going to go with prosperity. So mining station output is increased, and eventually we'll have more merchants, more clerks, and more housing. Penalties are 50% worse, not reducing your cap. Yes, but effectively it's reducing the cap because everything else, or it's reducing the amount you can have. Sorry, I'm using the wrong vocabulary there. It's reducing the amount of stuff you can have, which can actually translate as a cap reduction in terms of the things that increase your cap, because you'll hit that cap faster. And also, I just remembered that we're on a small galaxy with lots and lots of bad guys. I'm kind of surprised we've not met anyone. Oh, what was I just saying? So, one of the things that we should be able to do is the sit log. Research them, please. I want the bonus. Are you still explorifying? You are. Go find out as much about this stuff as we can before we get locked out. So you can't go wide or tall. No, we're just going to be small. So I guess that's going to be the really big corporate penalty, is we're going to be tiny. Which means that it's all the more important that we grab this as quickly as possible so we can really lock in this territory. Although it may actually be in our interest to just not build on these. And try and expand out this way a bit more. Because these are locked behind us anyway. Unless someone gets a jump engine, they can't use them. Alright, so have I... Okay, so we have unemployment. I really need to build a building. I've just been kind of putting off the decision because I have no idea what I want. Alloy foundries would allow us to get more alloys. We do have a very big surplus of minerals and it's building up. Consumer goods has not yet been a problem, so I don't think we need that. Commercial zones potentially, but I don't know how much we'll be relying on trade versus stealing other people's trade. We could get more scientists. We could definitely get more scientists. No, I think we're going to get some alloy factories going. So we'll have 2 sets of alloy factories. We can always switch them out for science later and they'll still be specialists. Alright. Don't stop now. Keep going. Run away while you can. Oh, you're saying that if you go above the cap, then you have a bigger penalty. Empire size penalty plus 50%. Yeah, okay, I get that. So it's a lot more penalised if you do go over the cap. Okay.
Complete.
Yay! We took Rekkel, which has a bunch of kind of terrible planets. So we need to try and increase our habitability as soon as possible. Now, those mining stations, are they on the colonizable planets? No, actually. Oh. Build them then, by all means. And this is all from the workers. So the other thing I could be doing... Oh, right, decisions are a thing too. So we could, these cost influence or food or luxury goods. So the influence we can increase stability and add more soldier jobs. Any amount of time? No, this seems to be permanent. We can discourage planetary growth, which will reduce growth, amenities and increase upkeep. And push everyone to immigration. So if we're trying to depopulate a world without being slavers, we can do this, which will push those people to our home worlds, our core worlds. Distribute luxury goods, added for 120 months. So these are permanent until switched off, I guess. This is for 10 years, giving plus 25 amenities, plus 25 immigration pull, for a cost of 300 goods, consumers. And then growth encouraged, 10 years, plus 25 growth speed, and it'll cost 1,000 food. Okay. That's not what I was trying to check, though. I was trying to check... these. That's the planetary features, and then these are the ones we can get rid of. And we could now start to spend some points on doing this. Which will open up more districts, which will mean we'll have more of the lower class able to work on these places. I'm just going to start working on these. +2, +2, +1. So we're going to start on these two. And that'll give our population space to grow into for quite a while. Until I decide exactly what stuff I'm really short on. I mean, and right now it seems to be influence and alloys. Food, consumer goods, all of that stuff we seem to be fine. Energy and minerals, same. Although my mineral production is going to go down as the alloy production goes up. And I'm very much hoping to be able to rely on
I found something.
crime to get minerals. A leader has gained a level. So we now gain +2% more from jobs, and crime is reduced even further. That's going to be left for now. Okay, so building seems to take quite a long time.
I found something.
Yeah, the Stellaris music is really good. Like, Paradox have been excelling in terms of the music recently. The new Crusader Kings tunes are really good, the new EU4 ones are really good, and Stellaris just generally has been really strong anyway. Some kind of unknown structures are floating in the gas giant's upper atmosphere. They appear to be using aerostatic lift to remain buoyant. This one's fairly routine, so no difficulty modifiers. I'm going to leave it for now. Yeah, we'll leave it for now. I think that was discovered here. We're still flying through. So we discovered a planet. And another planet. Oh! It's not leaving that data up. So it's telling me that we've found planets, but it's not going to let me see what quality they are, unless I'm actually present. Well, that's slightly irritating. Do they stay in the expansion planner? Nope. Okay, so you were saying I haven't built up all the districts. I think that just means that I have those jobs available. I don't have to build districts, I don't think. Oh. I do. So I can have up to 17 districts. Well, how do I build a district? Because it's not a build queue thing. I thought they were just space for workers. In that case, yeah, those are not as important. How do I do that? Oh, I click on this icon. So what do I want? I probably more agriculture. Here it is. And that's really mineral intensive. So after that, I think we'll probably want another mineral district.
We built something.
We built something! Alright! And what building is required? Oh, except... Oh, no, I can see. To get more influence. I'm not sure I'll be able to.